Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to News Toast. And yeah, there's a lot of things that's happened in the last 24 hours. Obviously, last night we had the Game Awards. There was also the Bill Clinton kid for whatever reason. And then, of course, the FTC is seeking to stop the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition. Now, I'm actually going to post a separate video on this topic, but regulators today are now calling each other out, and it's being claimed that the FTC is lying. So yeah, do keep an eye out for that video, as that kind of changes how that whole situation can play out. But for today, I really wanted to center this video on the Game Awards, where we can just really celebrate all of these games. But as for the Game Awards, first, we need to talk about Jeff Keighley. I mean, I complain about this every single time, and I really thought that this time was going to be different. Jeff Keighley, going into this showcase, said he was going to make the Game Awards shorter and more streamlined. What exactly happened to that? I mean, sure, Christopher Judge had a long speech and everything. I get it. But that's still not an excuse for yet another 3.5-hour showcase. The pacing was terrible yet again. I mean, Jeff Keighley might need to go talk to Baker Mayfield about time management. He only needs like a couple days to get ready, and Jeff Keighley over here, yeah, suffice to say 3.5 hours is too long for this showcase. Do better, Jeff. Do better. Now, with that said, there were still some interesting and, dare I say, even some exciting announcements. In fact, the night started off great with a surprise sequel for Hades. This, in my opinion, was probably one of the best and most welcome surprises of the night. Supergiant Games, they've never made a sequel before. But with how successful and just extraordinary that first game was, knowing that there's more to come is something that I think a lot of people can get on board for. In this game, though, you'll now be playing as a different character this time around, but one of the cool things that they're doing is what they did with the first game. Hades 2 will be an early access game where fans will be able to give their input and help make that game even better before its official release. I mean, it seems to pay off in dividends for that first one, so why not try that with Hades 2 as well? Either way, though, we will get more information on that sometime in 2023. For the time being, though, you can wishlist this one over on Steam. Definitely look forward to this one. Another interesting surprise here, and I don't think that anybody was really expecting this one, but Nintendo and Platinum Games out of nowhere announced another Bayonetta game. Now, this is barely a month removed from Bayonetta 3, but Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon was announced, and it's actually releasing just a few short months. It will be out on March 17th. So Nintendo's 2023 lineup is already starting to shape up. Of course, we do have Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. That also won the most anticipated 2023 game. But as for Bayonetta Origins, this is a very different style of game. It's a much more artistically driven game. It is a prequel, and you'll solve different puzzles and things like that. Maybe a little Zelda-like, which makes sense. If you think about it, Platinum Games has mentioned before that they want to go back to the Okami series, and even the art style in Bayonetta Origins kind of reminds me of that. Now, as a fan of Bayonetta, though, I am interested in this title, but I was a little bit surprised at the asking price. You might not expect it, but it is a full $60 game. When I first saw this game, I thought it was going to be more of a budget title, but I guess that's not the case here. I think with that, I need to kind of hear more about this game. If it is Okami-like, though, I mean, I'm in, but there will be a physical and digital version if you are indeed interested. Now, speaking of Nintendo, they also revealed some paid DLC for Fire Emblem Engage, which includes some of the characters from 3 houses. There will also be 3 additional DLCs that releases throughout 2023. I mean, I get it. People seems to have gotten used to DLC being announced before a game even gets released. But I still don't really like this type of stuff. It is what it is, though, I guess. I'm still looking forward to the main game, but I'd rather these companies just wait to announce this type of stuff. Once the game releases, you can announce all the DLC you want. That'll, get people excited. But, again, it is what it is. Maybe you all feel differently about all of this, though, and if you do, let me know. One game that I thought was really exciting, though, is Earthblade. This is a smaller independent game, so I know it's not going to get as much attention, but this is coming from the Celeste creator. I genuinely do believe that is one of the best 2D platformers ever made, hands down. So I'm actually pretty excited to see what they can do next. Earthblade, though, I think it looks good so far. It is more of an action platformer, maybe a Metroidvania. That genre has kind of exploded in recent years, so it would fit right in with that trend. But I think that it could also turn out to be the perfect evolution of Celeste. You can clearly see that the platforming mechanics are similar, so I think that that'll be cool to see in more of an action-driven game. Unfortunately, though, you will have to wait a bit for this one, as it is planned for a 2024 release. We did, however, get several key release dates here, though, so let's just kind of go over all of that. Star Wars Jedi Survivor did get its big gameplay reveal, and as you'd kind of expect, it looks absolutely fantastic. I think that if you like the first game, or really if you're just a big Star Wars fan in general, you have to be thrilled at what you saw here. It essentially looks like they just improved on that first game, and it will be out on March 17th. That there, though, I think is looking to be a stacked month, and for that matter, just the first half of 2023. There's a lot of games releasing in the first half of the year. Diablo 4 also showed up with a release date and a new cinematic trailer. Honestly, I have to applaud Blizzard on their cinematics. They do just such a good job on this type of stuff, and they really, I'd say that they are industry defining. But its release date is now set for June 6th. However, if you want to play it even earlier than that, if you pre-order it, it will give you access to its beta. I don't know if there's an exact date on that just yet, but still a nice incentive to pre-order it early. Baldur's Gate 3 is also set for an August release, and now you're starting to kind of see RPG fans are looking to have a very, very good year in 2023. They did in fact reveal a new trailer, and it looks like it could be shaping up to be something truly special. I shouldn't really be surprised by that, though. This is coming from Larian Studios after all, and they debatably did make one of the best RPGs last generation in Divinity Original Sin 2. So high expectations without a doubt for Baldur's Gate 3. Kill the Justice League also got a new trailer where they showed Batman and everything. In a bit of an emotional reveal, Kevin Conroy was confirmed to have his final performance as Batman in Kill the Justice League. That's a really nice nod, and rest in peace. As for the game itself, though, I can't really say that I'm sold on this game quite yet, and they didn't really show much in the way of gameplay, so we'll see. The good news here, though, is that it will be out on May 26th. The game I am absolutely sold on, though, is Final Fantasy XVI. They were pretty much hyping this announcement up all night long, and when you see it, you kind of understand why. Final Fantasy XVI looks great in every meaning of the word. It's much darker and more mature than you'd expect from the Final Fantasy franchise, but I think that kind of creates even more mystique. The story just immediately kind of draws you in. I think what I can say here, though, is that this game just continues to look better and better every time we see it. And now we do have that official release date as well. Go ahead and mark your calendars for June 16th, and I cannot wait for this one. Outside of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I think that this might be my most anticipated game of the year. I mean, at the same time, there's also 7 Rebirth, though, and I'm pretty excited about that one as well. 2023 is just going to be a good year for Final Fantasy fans. Of course, though, Final Fantasy XVI is a PlayStation exclusive. So with that in mind, let's just go and talk about PlayStation. They did have a pretty big presence here with a few different reveals, including the highly rumored Death Stranding 2. It is now official. Hideo Kojima, in fact, is working both exclusively with Xbox and exclusively with PlayStation. Hideo Kojima is really just getting around here, but he did reveal Death Stranding 2 at the Game Awards. Now, not much is being said about this game just yet, though. It was a very cryptic trailer reveal, as you'd kind of expect from Kojima. I'm sure some eagle-eyed fans out there will discover a lot of things from that trailer. I'm probably going to have to go look at an analysis sometime, but they did confirm Norman Reedus is coming back once again, though he is much, much older this time around. I do kind of have a sneaky suspicion here, though, that this game is going to play differently than that first game. I don't know how it's going to play different. Maybe they're going to go a little bit more that stealth-based approach. They kind of did some things like that with the director's cut, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some drastic changes rather than it being more of that walking simulator. Either way, though, the wait could be a while. No release date or release window or anything like that was mentioned here, so it could be 2024 before this game ends up coming out. Just a guess, no confirmation for the time being. Sony also revealed a Horizon Forbidden West expansion titled Burning Shores, and it will be out on April 19th. This actually leaked online a few days back. We did talk about it before, but in Burning Shores, Aloy will travel to what was once Los Angeles. You can even see the Hollywood sign in the trailer, and that could make for an interesting setting. And a bit of a surprise though. Wasn't expecting this, but this will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, meaning they're ditching the PlayStation 4. As they say, this is to achieve this grand vision technically and creatively. We've made the difficult decision to focus all our efforts on making an incredible experience exclusively for the PlayStation 5 console. So there you go. A little bit surprising, but that expansion will be exclusive to PlayStation 5. Now, one last PlayStation-related piece of news here, though, was for Forspoken. See, this game is set to release next month on January 24th. But so far, I wouldn't really say that this game has set the world on fire. There does seem to be some skepticism about this particular game. And if you are on a fence yourself, the good news here is that they did announce a playable demo that you can actually check out right now. I think that's a very smart move in this case, so definitely go check that game out if you are interested. So far we've gone over Nintendo games, we've gone over release dates, and also PlayStation games, but there's 4 other highlights that we need to go over. As of this moment, we don't have release dates or anything like that, but all these I'd say are very exciting announcements, and that starts off with Tekken 8. Tekken 8 did get a full reveal showing off various characters, including Ken Kazuma, June is back, you have Devil Jin, Devil Kazuya, and the list just kind of goes on and on. Outside of the characters, though, my big takeaway from this particular reveal is in just how impressive it is. Graphically, it looks fantastic. I mean, if you compare the visuals to other fighting games, I'd be hard-pressed to think of something that looks this good. Even Street Fighter 6, I mean, now that's a big budget fighting game that's coming out next year. I don't think that it's as impressive from a visual standpoint as something like Tekken 8. Tekken 8 visually is stunning. Now, which game's gameplay do you prefer? That all just kind of depends, but Tekken 8 I think looks good so far. Hopefully, we will get that release window sometime here soon. Now, another game that I know a lot of people out there are really excited about is Judas. And the reason for that is because this is a game coming from the BioShock creator, Ken Levine himself, and you can immediately tell that with the art style here. It's definitely got those BioShock vibes to it, and an almost creepy dystopian environment. It is also another narrative-driven first-person shooter, and even the gameplay reminded me a lot of BioShock. So, I mean, if you are a BioShock fan and everything, which I know some of you are, I've seen it in the comments below, I think this was a good first showing of Judas. It definitely seems interesting at the very least. Unfortunately, no release date is currently planned. But I'll leave you with a basic story description that says this: a disintegrating starship, a desperate escape plan. You are the mysterious and troubled Judas. Your only hope for survival is to make or break alliances with your worst enemies. Will you work together to fix what you broke, or will you leave it to burn? It will be coming to the Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, and then also PC. Activision, they also finally revealed what Wumpa League is. This has been in a rumor mill for quite a long time, but they did finally show what this game is, and it is Crash Team Rumble. Now, this is a lot different than what I had envisioned. Based off some of the different leaks, I was thinking more in the lines of a Smash Brothers like, but instead, this is something entirely different. When I first saw this, I wasn't actually entirely sure what this game is, but after reading what this game is on their website, though, it started to kind of click together. This is what they say on their website. Crash Team Rumble is a 4 versus 4 team-based competition where the iconic heroes and villains of the Crash universe battle to capture more Wumpa fruit than the other to claim victory. Each hero has unique skills and abilities to strategically use to work together to battle the opposing team, defend their own Wumpa bank, and capture key points around the map to help their team. So after reading that, I think that sounds very interesting, with each character kind of having their own different abilities, the platforming and all that. This could make for a very intriguing multiplayer game when it releases sometime in 2023. The final game that we're going to talk about here, though, is a new From Software game. Armored Core 6 is now official. Now, this is coming from a long-running series that I think a lot of people have kind of missed out on, But I think with how much popularity From Software has gained over the last year with Elden Ring, this previously niche franchise is suddenly a lot more interesting for a lot of people. I think Armored Core 6, without a doubt, is going to get more attention than any of the previous games by far. And I will say that the trailer itself looked good. Unfortunately, there wasn't really much in the way of gameplay, but the setting, the cinematics, and all of that looked fantastic. And really just knowing it's a From Software game, I think that's going to be enough for a lot of people out there. They have proven to be amazing game developers. If anything, I'd say it's kind of a nice change of pace seeing them work on something outside of the Soulsborne genre. I mean, as much as I love the Soulsborne games myself, it'll be nice though to kind of see them do just something a little bit different here. This game will be out sometime in 2023 for Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, PC, and yes, also the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Now, actually, speaking of From Software, we have to talk about the Game of the Year. That of course, is what this entire showcase is built around, the Game Awards. And I think we all kind of knew this was either going to come down to God of War Ragnarok or Elden Ring. These were the two heavy hitters here. And I'm very happy to say that Elden Ring won the Game of the Year. In my own personal opinion, Elden Ring was the only correct choice. I mean, there were some great nominations here and everything, don't get me wrong, specifically with God of War Ragnarok. I think that game is absolutely amazing. But Elden Ring is a generational type of game that will influence and impact other games for years and years. I mean, if you want to say that God of War Ragnarok has a better story, better voice acting, all that type of stuff, okay, you got me. It is one of the best story-driven games ever made. But in terms of gameplay, game design, its world, its influence, and all that, Elden Ring is on its own level. And that's why, to me, Elden Ring is without a doubt the Game of the Year in my heart. To be clear, though, I do enjoy both these games. I think that they are both masterpieces in their own way. There you go, though. That there was all my best highlights for the Game Awards 2022. So, you know what? Let's just go ahead and wrap this up with the poll of the day, where I asked you all, what letter grade would you give the Game Awards 2022? And as you can see here, most of you all thought this was a pretty good showcase, with 14% of you giving it an A, 45% being the majority giving it a B, 25% gave it a C, 7% gave it a D, and 10% gave it an F. So that means at least 59% of you thought that it was an above average showcase, so most of you all did actually enjoy this one. I myself, I thought it was okay. I still thought the pacing was off. It was far too long. But as for the actual announcements, I thought that there were some really good reveals here. I thought that there were some nice surprises and also some very welcome release dates. I'd personally give it a C myself, but you all feel different here. Most of you all, again, thought it was either a B or an A. And hey, at the end of the day, if you all loved it, I'm glad. That's really what all of this is about. I'm always happy to see the community happy. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode. But if you liked the video, don't forget to bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.